Today we are playing more Aetherdrift Draft. It is the final week of Aetherdrift. The new set, the Tarkir Dragonstorm set, is coming out in about a week's time, at least on paper. So I guess it's going to be, what, a week and a half or 2 weeks until it's out on Arena. So for the time being, we are still on Aetherdrift Limited. It is the end of the season, so we're going to do a little bit more grinding. And then that'll put us in a good position to get back on the limited grind with a brand new set in a couple of weeks. Very excited about it. Probably a week when this video goes out. Anyway, let's jump into a draft, see if we can get some work done. Okie doke. What have we got here? So, pick one, pack one. We have opened a Guardian Sunmare. Very good card. And I'd be pretty happy to take it. There's also an Hour of Victory, which I think is great. Dredger's Insight, Skystreak Engineer. There's some interesting cards, but I do think that the first pick is just Guardian Sunmare. It's quite hard to splash this card, and it is a little tricky taking a double white card first, but white is pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. 5 mana, saddle 4, 5/5. Searches up permanents with mana value 3 or less. I do think that is enough better than everything else that we're going to take it here. Broadside Barrage is good, but again, it is a bit difficult to take a blue-red card first pick. I don't know what we get back on the wheel. I think what I'm taking here is just the best card in the pack, and then we're going to see what is open. We'll try and read the draft a little bit. I like Basri a lot. You can get a lot of value out of this card, especially if it comes down on turn 1. If it starts pumping out cat tokens, that can be really good. I don't mind tune-up. There's also a Wreckage Wickerfolk in the pack and a Hazard of the Dunes. So I would say best card in the pack is probably just Hazard of the Dunes. Maybe following the Sunmare, we're taking the Basri. I don't think it's... I think it's kind of close. I think an early Basri is as good as... Like, on-curve Basri is as good as on-curve Hazard of the Dunes. It's a bit difficult to take even a decent green card because green is very heavily contested. Okay, so now we have a tough decision. Best card in this pack is the Outpace Oblivion. It could be that Dune Drifter is the best card following our 2 picks. And then we've got Skystreak Engineer. And that's it. So the problem with Outpace Oblivion is we don't want to be in red-white. That is not very good. But Dune Drifter is pretty good with Basri because this is a removal magnet. And I certainly don't mind being in black-white. And if we end up in base white, then this is a fine splash too. It's close. It is close between the Dune Drifter and the Outpace, but I'm going to take the Dune Drifter. And kind of, we're slotting into a lane. And now, oh, see, that's rough, because we could have had 2 Outpace Oblivions, and that's really strong. Guidelight Synergist is just fine. There's a fair few artifacts in the black-white deck, which makes this a pretty decent card. There's also Pothole Mole, Maximum Overdrive. I think Maximum Overdrive is a card I want. But I think that the Synergist is maybe just a little bit better to take this early. And it does line up with all of the colors that we have right now. So now we have, like, Ovia. Ovia's good in a heavy green deck. Giving everything trample is decent. I don't mind green-white at all. Leonin Surveyor is just okay. Kind of think Maximum Overdrive is the best card in this pack. I do think Maximum Overdrive is the best card in this pack. It could be Spectral Interference. But it's between these two, and I guess Maximum Overdrive is on color for us, so we'll take that. This is a pretty weak pack overall. Calaxion is just we want to be able to play Basri on curve. We have double white. I just don't see taking Calaxion here. It does block green's massive creatures very well. But I guess I'm just taking the Daring Mechanic. It can put counters on the Sunmare and the Dune Drifter. And that's not awful. Is Calaxion just the best card in the pack? I don't know. If I'm taking the... all around, this is a pretty weak pack. So we'll take the Daring Mechanic. We're clearly, like, base white, but I'm still trying to read the signals in this draft. I do think double Outpace Oblivion was a signal for red. But I think we might have missed it. Oh, man. Guardian Sunmare could fetch Outpace Oblivion as well. That's so sick. That's so good. Kind of wish I'd taken them and maybe tried red-white. Now we've got Broadcast Rambler. That is good. It is a target for the Daring Mechanics. A good creature in its own right. There's also a Sky Streak Engineer and a Velo Heartbike in this pack. Both good, but it looks like we are building pretty heavily base white. Which I am not... I don't hate. I don't hate. Foul Roads, meh. Lotus Guard Disciple I quite like. It's nice to have a flyer. It can give you a big swing. I don't mind this card. I think it's probably my favorite card in this pack. So while we are still figuring out what our secondary color is, we'll just take that. So now there is a Brightfield Glider. I really am not a fan of this card. I think I just prefer Deathless Pilot. And I think I prefer Pilot over Wreck Remover. Deathless Pilot can just block indefinitely. That is certainly nice. Proudcatcher Specialist is a good aggressive card. But again, I really don't want to build red-white. So I'm going to take the starting column. That keeps us open. So we have Maximum Overdrive as a piece of interaction. I think what this deck wants is ultimately... Oh, that's tough. This is tough. I actually think I'm taking the Bestow Greatness here. I feel like the green-white cards are more open. Ugh, I feel like red is open. But I don't think red-white is the way to go. That's tough. So look, white seems reasonably open. Still not sure what our secondary color is going to be. I really don't want it to have to be red. Let's see what we open. Okay, well, that's interesting. That is very interesting. There is an Agonosaur Rex, which is incredible. There's a Spectacular Pileup, which is also actually pretty great. There's also a Ride's End in this pack. So we could take the Agonosaur Rex, and then we are playing green for sure. I think this is obviously in a vacuum the better card. I'm going to take the Pileup. I really like Pileup. We are building kind of a grindy black-white deck. That is ideally what we want. See, now in this pack we've got Scurryfoot, Mutant Surveyor. I'm just going to ignore the red cards because I don't want to go down that path. But Scurryfoot's probably the best card in the pack. I will take the Mutant Surveyor. I think it's good enough. And usually black-white is a grindy start your engines type deck. We have some key pieces for that. So let's take the Mutant Surveyor with the plan that we will find those payoffs at some point. So we could take Bleachbone Verge here. There's Hull Drifter. I'm pretty happy to just take Marshal's Pathcruiser as another piece of fixing. Maybe that means we don't play the starting column. Now there's a Hellish Sideswipe, a tune-up, which can return a Pathcruiser, Synergist, Broadcast Rambler. That certainly isn't bad. Thunderhead Gunner in this pack. So red was open. Red and white are the colors that are open in our seat. But I do think we should just sort of try and lean away from that. I wonder if I can take Hellish Sideswipe. It's pretty good with Deathless Pilot. It would be nice if we picked up some Grim Baubles, which I'm in the market for. And we don't have any interaction right now. So, okay, we'll take that. We will take that. And, well, there's some really good, like, red has been really open. Maybe black-red was the route I was meant to go down, but I feel a little bit too committed. So we could just take the Siphon Fuel, or we could take Bloodfell Caves and speculate on finding more really good red cards worth splashing. I'm going to take the Siphon Fuel. I think that's the sort of disciplined play to make. And we do get rewarded here with an Embalmed Ascendant. There's also a Scoured Barrens, wouldn't mind that. But Embalmed Ascendant is what we were sort of hoping to open. So that is a reward. That is a reward. We could take Muruganda Raceway here. I'm not a big fan of Brightfield Glider. I guess Streaking Oil Gorger is a reasonable payoff in an early Start Your Engines type deck. We have Ascendant and Mutant Surveyor to start our engines, and that is kind of it. That is, yeah. Another Oil Gorger I'm not encouraged to take, but then I don't like the Raceway, so I guess we just take this as another playable. I don't like how this card's looking. I don't really like how this deck's going. Because we're also, like, we've not seen the interaction this deck needs. We need Grim Baubles, Spinouts. We need more Start Your Engines, and we need more Start Your Engines payoffs, like a Necro Region or something. We also need Engine Rats. That is a hell of a lot of things to ask for. With, you know, a pack and a half left. And we know none of those things are in the remaining packs. That is rough. I do like Avishkar Raceway. I think that's the best of those of the raceways. So we will take that. We can splash. We have Pathcruiser starting column. We have the tools to splash for something. But what I really want is like a spin out, a Ride's End, an Engine Rat, and a Necro Region. And then the deck would feel, I guess, pretty solid. Oh, yeah, nothing for us. I guess we take the Tranquil Cove in case we want to splash blue, which, again, we can. If we open, like, a Mu Yanling or something, then we will play it. So tune-up is probably worth taking, right? If it reanimates Rambler, Synergist, Pathcruiser, that's good enough. Aether Jacket might just make the cut if we don't find enough removal, but we're kind of hoping that that isn't the case. Grim Javelineer I like in this deck. Wretched Doll is certainly good enough to take, and then there's a Scrap Compactor for removal. Crash and Burn on the splash for some removal as well. Not taking the Guidelight Synergist here because we do need more 2-drops. So I think this is just Wretched Doll. Okay. All right, I mean, this is interesting. Now, this is another great 2-drop. We've opened the rare in our colors. That is certainly rewarding. We have Embalmed Ascendant and Zahur. There's also an Engine Rat in this pack, but Zahur is the take for sure. There's a Sundial. I wouldn't mind Sundial. And there's a night market. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good pack. Obviously, we're just taking the Zahir. So Risky Shortcut is fine. Interesting and fine. Is Winter worth playing? On the splash? Gives our artifacts ward, and then it's sort of a board wipe. Is it worth playing over Risky Shortcut? Maybe it is. We do have 6 artifacts. We don't need our graveyard all that much. And we have a lot of 3-drops already, so I'm not really feeling the Risky Shortcut. Okay, so nothing that interesting in this pack. Howler's Heavy, Backwater. Yeah, Backwater helps us splash the Winter, but is Pathcruiser just better? I think it is. We've got a pilot. We've got 2/3 power creatures, so we can crew this pretty early. And it's a good card and a good 3-drop. So I'm going to take that, and then we have a pretty easy splash for the Winter if we want to play Winter, which is not guaranteed. We could also splash green for Caradora, which finds Sunmare, finds Rambler, finds Dune Drifter. Are we doing any +1/+1 counter synergy? I don't think so. I think I'm just taking the Siphon Fuel then. Yeah, we do need more interaction. Okay. Memory Guardian here and Detention Chariot. I think I'm taking the Chariot. Not very good start your engines payoffs, admittedly. But it is sort of coming together. It is sort of coming together. I like, this is good to cycle and get back with a tune-up. I don't think I'm going to play both Oil Gorgers. May not even play the first one. We can definitely play 16 lands because we've got 2 Pathcruisers and a starting column. So I guess this is the deck. Our interaction looks a little clunky. But it is okay. Could do with another 2-drop, I admit. I really don't think Light Shield Parry is very good. I'm not a Tortoise fan either, although it does crew fairly well. We'll see if that is better than Winter here. There's a Daring Mechanic. I wonder if I would prefer that, because we have a fair bit of ramp. I wonder if I'd prefer that to Lotus Guard Disciple. I think I might. I think I might in this deck. There's a Risky Shortcut, which I do like in a grindy start your engines deck. I guess we can play the Backwater. That makes things... That's fairly nice. We're not going to play the Boosted Sloop. Okay, you know, we have a deck. We have a deck. It has some powerful stuff. We didn't get the Ride Zens back. We didn't get the good removal. No Grim Baubles, no Spinouts, no Ride Zens. We're depending on these Siphon Fuels, which is quite suboptimal, but we do have Spectacular Pileup, some sack synergies, and some reanimation. We have Tune-Up, which can get back some of our artifact. We have Dune Drifter, which can get back one of our bombs. Don't know if the Winter is worth playing. I mean, what is it? It's exile X artifacts from your graveyard. Each other non-artifact creature gets -X/-X until end turn. So we would need to... We have 9 artifacts. We'd need to exile them from our graveyard. I don't think Winter is worth it, right? Because we have... Yeah, it's... I don't think it's worth it. We can play 16 lands because we have the 2 Pathcruisers and the starting column. I mean, I don't even know if I want the starting column. I I will play the 2 Pathcruisers. And I would like some more creatures. Damn, these creatures are bad. Hellish Sideswipe's not looking great. But I guess, like... Oh, God, we're going to have to play the Ticket Tortoise. Because we have 2 Daring Mechanics, I am going to play the Brightfield Glider. I will play the Raceway. I wonder if I can play, or if I want to play Ether Jacket. I think I do. So we've got 3 Siphon Fuels, a Hellish Sideswipe. We have Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, I think that's everything that I want to actually play. And so our... So Dune Drifter counts as a creature. Broadcast Rambler counts as a creature. Which puts us on 15 creatures. I do think Ticket Tortoise has a role to play here. I don't think Risky Shortcut is that good. Like, we only have Zahur to start our engines on turn 2. It can it can help you push start your engines stuff. But I do think it's a cut here. And then Tune Up is pretty nice. Like, if we can trade off a Pathcruiser and then Tune Up and bring it back, that is pretty sick. Maybe I can cut 1 Daring Mechanic. Although it is a good mana sink. We have 1 mount, 2 mounts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vehicles. Yeah, I need to cut a non-creature spell. Oh, actually, we can still cut a land. We can cut a swamp. That puts us on 16 lands. Which is okay with the 2 Pathcruisers. That is reasonable. So I do not feel like I can afford to... Like, I need my creatures to crew my vehicles. Do I need Mutant Surveyor? Yeah. Do I need the Ether Jacket? I think you do, because there's plenty of artifacts that you just have to have an answer to, and this is the only answer that we would have. Maybe the cut is Ticket Tortoise. No. It's going to be Daring Mechanic. Yeah, okay. So this curve doesn't look bad. Bit heavy on the vehicles. We have a good amount of removal. How do we win? We're going to win by getting the opponent to overcommit, clearing the board, and then rebuilding. We also do have, like... Or we just, like, dump everything out on the board and we have some sack synergy here. So we do want to get up to speed, but we don't have to do it quickly. So we're going to grind our opponents out. That's going to be tough in this format because there's a lot of really good grindy decks. Everybody's trying to grind, and this doesn't look particularly good. To put it simply, this just doesn't look particularly good. But let's go. Let's give it a go. On the play. Pretty slow hand. But it's keepable. Okay, we drew a 2-drop. That's nice. Lovely. Love to see that. Oh, Thrill Seeker is incredibly annoying. Like, I can double block it. But that is so miserable. But then if I'm not doing that... Yeah, I have to double block this thing. Because then I'm just doing nothing. I'm finding a land and then I'm doing nothing on turn 4 as well. This is not the matchup we needed with the hand that we started with. But if we can get to 5 lands, maybe we can stabilize. And so I do think I have to be aggressive in trading this Embalmed Descendant. I feel like they don't have it. They don't have a combat trick or a removal spell. Because I think if they did, they would absolutely just be attacking here. I think maybe what they're thinking about is, do I just want to take the trade anyway? That is very good for us. So they don't have removal in hand. They don't have... any tricks. And then next turn we have Siphon Fuel, Broadcast Rambler. We can crew... We can't quite crew the Pathcruiser yet. I mean, we can with like crew Rambler, then crew Pathcruiser. But that one turn off is what we needed. And we got it. So let's try and make some opportunities here. They've got 4 cards in hand. We know there's no removal or tricks. Apocalypse Runner. So that is going to get them up to speed. Is it worth keeping them off of that for a minute? By siphon fueling whatever they target. I wonder if that is worth it. Or should I just put the Broadcast Rambler in play? And start swinging? Yeah, okay, let's do that. Yeah, they can get up to max speed, then they can sack their Hour of Victory and find whatever they want, but... I still feel kind of stable. Because we can get Deathless Pilot down next turn. And then we can crew Rambler and Pathcruiser and just start hitting them with massive stuff. And we actually stand a chance in the counter race. Okay, yeah, so they were going to get to max speed anyway, so there was... I'm glad we didn't make the choice to, like, hold these back and defend, because they, well, they had it anyway. Okay. Happily trading these off. Do they have another play, or are they just going to sack the Hour of Victory? They have Carrion Cruiser. They've milled a spin out. That's good. They can get back a Gastel Thrill Seeker. So what am I doing here? Probably am attacking with the Rambler. Hold up, spin out. Oh, no, I have to block, don't I? I have to use the spin out and trade one of these creatures. Probably the Pathcruiser. Does that mean I'm not attacking? It does. Okay. Okay. So they've kept up spin out mana. Wouldn't be surprised if they had a second one. But we can play around it this turn. Okay. A bit slow making that choice. I wonder if they... Oh, they went with Momentum Breaker. Interesting. Okay. Well, they've only got 2 mana left. So let's crew. And I guess I'm just sacking the Pathcruiser. Okay, they are granting unblockable. That's a little strange. But I have to take this block. I was hoping they would attack with the Apocalypse Runner. Maybe they got a read on my Siphon Fuel. Zahur. So, 7 mana. Can play out the 2/2. Do I need to get up to max speed and just have blockers? That is tricky. I mean, all they have is an attack for 2 next turn. Well, they don't actually. They can attack with the 6/5. Okay, so I guess I'm just attacking, getting my speed up, chump blocking the 6/5. Because they can, like, crew chain. They can use the 2/2 to crew the Carrion Cruiser, use that to crew the Apocalypse Runner. But if that is all they're doing, then that is okay. We can get up to max speed, possibly. If they do that, they tap out, they don't play anything else. We can get up to max speed, play Zahur. Yeah, that is quite a clock. But this does tap them out. I wonder if we can, I don't know, can we get anything done? They get hit in for 4. We can get up to max speed. Do a Wretched Doll. That's actually interesting, right? Because then we can crew the Pathcruiser. So we're on max speed. We can play the Pathcruiser. Find the planes. Now we can crew the Pathcruiser. We have chump blocks and a sack outlet and drains. We have loads of 2/2s, infinite 2/2s with the with the Deathless Pilot. Down to 5. But every turn we have a 2/2 and a drain. Grim Bauble. Okay. So I think Tune-Up is probably just our best draw. They could send the 6/5 trade with the Pathcruiser. And then I take 4. That's pretty brutal. But I would gain 1. Okay, if that's all they're doing, again, that's a 3-turn clock, but We can work through it. Pile up. Well, shit. I've got a pile up. They've got one card left in hand. They do have Grim Bauble. But the life gain that it represents is pretty good. So I could just smack them and then pile up. We gain a bunch of life. We do have Deathless Pilot as a kind of mana sink. We have 2 reanimation spells left, so I think this is the right play. They do get the Surveil off the Grim Bauble, which is annoying, so they will find more action. But we have certainly leveled the playing field, and a reanimation spell would be our absolute best draw. 2 lands off the top. Man, it would have been so nice if they just drew 2 lands in a row. Still, they didn't find anything, so Gravestalker's good, but we do have infinite chump blocks on that. We draw a Siphon Fuel. Let's just do this and continue to chump block this thing. Until they force us to remove it. Like, we can just do this every turn, keep buying more time. Mechanic. Okay, we'll play Mechanic because we can Mechanic plus Siphon Fuel. Okay, nice. Very nice. They bricked. Okay, excellent. They have 9 lands. I have 8. Sick. Elite Ticket Tortoise. We have turned the tables. Oh, how the tables have turned. They're going to get to dig. Okay, that's a good draw. Dune Drifter would be a great draw. Guidelight Synergist. Yeah, now they are winning again. We have seen 2 Siphon Fuels. There is another one. Any of our our reanimation spells would be good. Okay, Brimbauble targeting the tortoise. And that means they did no digging this turn. Land is obviously bad. They have another surveil. Yeah, they're doing a lot better than we are. But they did they drew like 4 lands, I think, off the top, and they've surveilled a bunch of them away. So fair play to the opponent. They've got 10 cards left. We might just deck them. They might be out of threats. That's kind of our only hope. We do have reanimation spells left, which would be fantastic. I think I'm reanimating the Embalmed Descendant. Don't know what they drew, but we'll take this trade for sure. Like, they must have a combat trick, but this is absolutely a trade that we'll take. Yep, that's fine. That is not ideal. They got to be careful about how much they dig. Maybe I'm supposed to just Dune Drifter back Zahor, because then we have, like, this Deathless Pilot engine. For 6 mana, we can make a 2/2, Surveil, get Deathless Pilot as a Mutant Surveyor. That's actually pretty good. Like, that thing actually blocks really well. And if it dies, we get to draw a card. So we'll probably send this next turn. Sweet. I will take my card. They're using a lot of spin-outs. Guardian Sunmare is just a big body. Don't think it gets anything else back that's relevant. We've seen the Pathcruisers. We've seen all of our early stuff. Don't have an Engine Rat or anything to get back. There's no Ether Jacket doesn't do anything. There's no use getting back the Dune Drifter. We still have Detention Chariot in the deck. We still have good draws. We might just have this. Okay, that's pretty good. That puts us on a 5-turn clock. They have 7 cards left. We've got 5, 10, 11 of our lands. That means in these 14 cards, there is 5 more lands. Hazoret's insane. You can attack with the 1/1 as well. Because we can just chump block that. They should have attacked with the 1/1. Made it unblockable. We have kill spells for the Hazaret. Detention Chariot. Detention Chariot. So the problem is... What is this, a 6/6? Okay, so that can block the Hazaret. The problem is... This can also give unblockable to the 2/2. So we need to answer the Hazaret and the Apocalypse Runner. So am I just supposed to take the 2/2? It's pretty wild, but I think that's correct. And I really don't have anything to get with the Guardian Sunmare. So there's no benefit to attacking. Six turn clock, 5 cards left. Engine Rat will actually win them the game. I think we have another Siphon Fuel. Tune-up. Okay. Tune-up getting back. Rambler. Pathcruiser. Rambler is more creatures. Pathcruiser gets another land out of the deck, which makes our top decks better. I don't think the 1/1 creature helps, so I'm going to take the Pathcruiser. They've actually just got lethal next turn. Because they can drain with the rat, make these two unblockable, and then drain with the rat again. Wow. Very, very grindy game. And we nearly had it. Like, we nearly regained control, but the opponent's got a good deck. They didn't drain me, though. Oh, but they can just do it now. Yeah, okay. I'm sure they see it. Getting out grinded by a red-black deck is not a good sign. This is a keep. Turn 1 Basri. If it survives, then it is very good. Yeah, let's play the Brightfield glider. Do I want to prevent them from getting speed? I kind of do. Yeah, I'm just going to chump. Now they have an ox. So, okay. Holding up maximum overdrive here is probably just my best play. They have one white. Yeah, because I would like to just get them to commit more to the board, wipe the board, and then follow up with a Pathcruiser. Projected that we have a trick, but I think they would have cottoned onto it anyway. And it doesn't really make their turn any easier. Okay, they're going to go for it. Okay. Interesting. Second Pathcruiser. Think I'm just making a 1-1. Chumping. And then we're gonna maybe just play the pile up. So I actually think what I want to do here is double block. Make my 1-1. And goad them to committing a little bit more to the board. I don't want to wipe this board. Cool, yeah, so like we got the ride's end out of them there. Scrap compactor. Now, Zahur is a reasonable follow-up, but they have this scrap compactor down. Yeah, I've got to commit a Pathcruiser to the cause here. Hope that they just use it. 2 cards left in hand. Now the board is worth wiping, I think. Synergist. Synergist. Do I want... Scrap Compactor is annoying, but Synergist is pretty good in the face of a Scrap Compactor. So let's just wipe this board. They have 1 card and a Scrap Compactor. And our follow-ups are certainly not great, but not bad. But they have no card advantage. So hopefully they just brick. Broadcast Rambler is very good. So what we can do is goad them into using the Scrap Compactor to destroy the Pathcruiser this turn, maybe. Okay, Pathmaker is big, but they can't currently crew it. We can get in some big hits here. Just don't really want to give them an easy, cheap target for the Scrap Compactor. Okay, they find a diversion unit. So they can crew their 6/5. I think I just want to play out the Zahur. Because it pressures them to block. Which is what I want. Good. Yeah, they have 1 card in hand. If they just Scrap Compactor the Zahur, we have relatively good pressure on them. Tune-up is absolutely sick. So let's see if we can get them to destroy the Zahur. That is also excellent. Now, there's a question. So tune up before, we can pay for this. There's a question around whether we get back Broadcast Rambler or the Pathcruiser. Get another flying one. Both put 6 power onto the board. I think... with the board we have, the Rambler is better. Pumps the Synergist, puts 2 creatures onto the board, which means better Zahur sacks. Dune Drifter is really great. Excellent. Well, we have lethal, so let's just hold it. Nice. Okay. We have a 2 mana card on the draw. Otherwise, pretty slow hand. But it is keepable. Opponent took a mulligan. Well, we drew a 4-drop, which kind of helps a little bit with the curve. Wickerpoke is very good. But Guidelight Synergist into Broadcast Rambler is actually quite good. So we'll play the Deathless Pilot here. We will play the Ticket Tortoise next turn for treasure value. Okay. Tis fine. Ticket Tortoise. Make a treasure. So we don't need to block the Wickerfolk right now. Biggest upside play is the Sunmare, but do they have a counterspell is the question. Let's find out. So they probably don't have a counterspell, because I think they would have used it there. Unsure. But it would have been pretty good there. So I don't have a read on a Spectral Interference. I think even if they had a spin out, I think they'd be removing this thing. Yeah, okay, cool. That is good. We've got them down to 1 card. I can't remember what they surveilled. But I think it is fine either way. So I can Pathcruiser, find a land, play Brightfield Glider. That is okay. Lining up the Sunmare, but now we need to think about, are we going to die to these flyers? Am I going to Siphon Fuel this? Not just yet. Let's get the Sunmare in play. And then hold up siphon fuel next turn. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Especially because we have Dune Drifter. One more land gets the Sunmare back. Another Pathcruiser doesn't, but it does crew another Pathcruiser attack. So let's go for that. Yeah, reanimating the Sunmare means we're kind of powering through this sabotage strategist. This is 7 mana to exhaust, right? Yeah. Sky Streak Engineer. Yeah, so they can like trade everything off for the Pathcruiser. We can blow up this block this turn. So we could reanimate the Sunmare and attack. Or we could just attack, blow up the block. Yeah, I'm interested in just blowing up the block. See what they do. That's fine. That is fine. Siphon fuel is expensive, man. I guess I'm just siphon fueling over here. I can take a little bit more damage, though. Yeah, I think it's better to get this Pathcruiser in play. And then actually get the Deathless Pilot back in hand. The next turn we have Siphon Fuel and Deathless Pilot. And if they attack all here, then I think we have lethal on the way back, so... No, not lethal, because they will have a blocker, but we would force them into blocking, and they now can't exhaust. Yep, they're leaving back a block. I take 3. You draw a card. Play a land. I rebuy Deathless Pilot. So you get crewed up there, and you get crewed up like this. We make big attack. We can hold up Siphon Fuel. They draw a card. 4 cards left. Sorry, 4 mana open, which means they don't have exhaust again. This is interesting. So let's place this block. Because they're still dead on the crack back. Zahur. Dune Drifter for 4 doesn't do anything. Yeah, we just had lethal on board anyway. Just was wondering what was in their hand. Okay. We do have 2 drops in the deck. We're really not finding them. But I think this is a key. It's just slow. Like, there's just a pretty fair chance we get steamrolled. I guess there's not as many 2 drops as I would like. We didn't find any engine rats or anything. But we have a couple of 1 drops and a handful of 2 drops. And yeah, this isn't good. There's a really strong argument for just play Dune Drifter as a creature. So it's available next turn as an additional block. Ugh, yeah, I think it's correct. I think we have to make these early plays and curve out for the time being. Crew 2. Yeah, like it does block both of these creatures. The Dune Drifter, so we'll play freaking Aether Jacket, which can get our speed going, has vigilance, can crew the Dune Drifter, and blocks fairly well. They could just exhaust and trade with the camera launcher, but that's fine. That's what they choose to do. They're still spending their whole turn on it. Wretched Doll. Yeah, I guess I'd rather trade these off. I'll play the Daring Mechanic, blocks the sarcophagus. They might be struggling on land. Or playing a colorless deck. Mono black, colorless artifacts. There's the blue. There's the island. Stock up. That's really good. No attacks is very good for us. Yeah, I guess I'm getting a swamp here playing out the Wretched Doll. Now we could swing. I think it's correct. We start attacking, we get our speed up. Because we have, we can crew the Pathcruiser. Mm-hmm. Acceptable. Okay, they have loads of mana, but and they're way up on cards because they played stock up. Don't care about Guidelight Matrix. I don't know what this deck is. Slick Imitator. I'm rather befuddled. I think I'm just going to play... Because they tapped out, I'm going to play the Sunmare. Crew. And just send it. Like, they haven't played any Packed Alterras. We've got a bunch of removal in hand. They might just haunt the network, which wouldn't be for that much right now. It's only a drain 2, drain 4. Aetherdrifter. Okay, they're just drawing more cards. We have a Hellish side swipe. So, we could certainly just attack. The question is, like, do we mount or do we just attack? I think we just attack. Get their life total to 0. Win the game that way. Does not seem like a bad plan. They have a bounce off. I'm just going to Siphon Fuel this, I think. Make them have the bounce off. Yeah, make them have the bounce off. They don't have it. Okay. Damn. Okay, we are on the draw again, and this probably is a mulligan. Opponent kept, but, like, we might not even get to play any of these cards. Oh, that's pretty bad as well. But we can keep it. We have a 2-3 curve. I guess the tune-up can go. Scrap Compactor. Okay, so that probably is a nice clean answer into our Wretched Doll. And they played a Web Strike Elite. Well, we drew the land. Yeah, so I have to do this, and they're gonna, like, maybe get to hit me for 3. Okay, Ether Hive instead. So this Web Strike Elite can currently just punch through. So can the Ether Hive. So I think what I'd rather do is play the Pathcruiser, find the land, and then next turn we have a good blocker in the Pathcruiser. Yeah, we take 3. We take our Upkeep Surveil. Sure. Yeah, we take our Upkeep Surveyor, we play Mutant Surveyor. That's what we're doing this turn. No, that was completely wrong. Why did I... Because I've tapped the Wretched Doll. Okay. I'm bad at this game. That was a horrible sequence. I'm going to take so much damage here. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, so we're taking 6. Easy trade. Does Broadcast Rambler stabilize us? Is the last card in their hand Spectral Interference? If it is, I can hold up Siphon Fuel and feel fine. Okay. That was a risky play, but it was not a Spectral Interference. I could attack. No. No attacks. Now they have if they have a land, they can destroy something with Scrap Compactor, so let's play around that. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so I was not supposed to trade the Broadcast Rambler there. I was supposed to trade the Pathcruiser. Because now I can't crew. Yeah, okay, so that was a mistake. Yeah, I've made like 2 or 3 severe misplays. But we'll block here. Siphon Fuel. This. I think anything off the top is good. Well, land isn't very good. But the pressure is way, way down. Pressure is way, way down. Yikes. Okay. So that is 5 CS, just lethal. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, I made a couple of pretty big misplays there. Sure. Like, if we had Broadcast Rambler on the field now, we'd be in a much better spot. We would be surviving. And maybe even... Well, they had the run over, so we might still be dead, but still a couple of pretty bad misplays. Oh, man, yeah. It's such a shame that we didn't get the good removal, and we're stuck with these siphon fuels. It's really rough because they're so bad. They're just too expensive. They're not so bad, but they are too expensive. You want one of them in your deck. You do not want 3. But we didn't see any spin-outs or Grim Baubles. Is what it is. We might just be getting run over here. But they don't have speed enabled yet, so it's not the end of the world. These siphon fuels are pretty good if we can get to them. Oh, great, a third one. So we'll play out the Ether Jacket. It's the only creature we have. If this dies, we are done for. And that's probably that. Because we need both land and something to do. Our best draw is Basri or Brightfield Glider. Okay, Deathless Pilot is playable at least. Black, red, splashing blue. They out of removal? Or do they not want to use it on a Deathless Pilot? I need to untap with this Maximum Overdrive. That is my only hope of stabilizing. Okay, that's fine. Interesting. So I could... Okay, yeah. I think what I'm going to do here is play the Pathcruiser, get the Swamp, play the Swamp, Hellish Sideswipe, the Pact Altera, sack the Pathcruiser. Because I needed that land drop. I needed that land. And they didn't have a way to punch through the Deathless Pilot last turn, so hopefully they just don't have anything this turn. I think now that I've got the 5th land, maybe I am trading if they offer. Sloop. Sloop and pass. Sloop and pass is good. Okay. Now we're in a good spot. We have Siphon Fuel, after Siphon Fuel, after Siphon Fuel. We can Spectacular Pile Up if they start to double spell and get more of a board presence than we can deal with. Oil Gorger is interesting. And they're going to creep. So, am I taking 6 here? I think I am, and then just wiping the board. They do still have 3 cards in hand. But we do have 3 Siphon Fuels. Now, let's wait. Let's get some more resources out of their hand first. Clearly, this Deathless Pilot is giving them trouble, so let's wait until they figure that out before we wipe the board. Can't figure out what their hand is. This might be a good chance to Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to play out the Synergist because we have the board wipe in hand. There we go. Okay. We can just rebuy that this turn. So since we can just chump block this every turn and rebuy it and replay it, we're going to use that to get them to commit to the board a little bit more. Because they're going to have to commit to the board to get around this Deathless Pilot. Or they're just not getting anywhere. Yeah, like they can't just do nothing. We're going to wait. They're not spending their mana. We are using ours every turn. Just hold up this Siphon Fuel. They're playing... Well, they might just be bricking. I don't know, but... So they attack, they get a point of speed. Do I just want to keep them on 2 speed? Yes. They're going to spin out the Deathless Pilot. That is what I like to see. That is what I like to see. Hilarious. Now what? We can play this game all day. That puts them on max speed. Play a Spike Spitter. You know you want to play a Spike Spitter. Siphon Fuel. Overdrive. Okay. They're down to 1 card in hand. We can probably wipe the board now. Balls. I guess we play around any haste creature. Block this Oil Gorger forever. Man. Okay. I'm sure I played that wrong. I probably held on to the board wipe for way too long. Took too much damage. Well, there you go, folks. We went 3-3 with that black-white deck. It didn't feel very good to me. It felt like white was open in the draft, but then we didn't get back the ride's ends that we sent around the table. We did not find any spin-outs or grim baubles. All the good removal in black-white was missing. And I think red was the most open color. But because we started off white, I really did not want to build red-white because it is so bad in this format. But to be totally honest with you, Guardian Sunmare into Outpace Oblivion is actually seems busted. I know red-white's not very good in this format, but being able to mount a Sunmare and search up and put an Outpace Oblivion onto the battlefield, which I'm pretty sure is something you can do, is insanely strong. Like, attack with a 5/5, deal 5 damage to something. So maybe that was a powerful enough combo that we should have just played red-white. But, well, now we'll never know. Because now we'll never know. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and comment. Check out twitch.tv/SultanJosh. We're live streaming every weekend. Sometimes it's magic, sometimes it's not. And that is all for this episode of Operation Double Mythic. I will catch you on the next one, which will be tomorrow. That's it. Bye for now.